Hello there. Breaking news for you. Ethiopian soldiers have arrested some soldiers of Somalia. What happened? Where did this incident take place? We know that Ethiopian troops are going to leave Somalia. Somalia's government has made it clear that by the end of this year, all Ethiopian troops who are thousands must leave Somalia. Before that, Ethiopian soldiers have arrested Somalia soldiers in a regional state of Somalia where tensions are rising between federal government and the regional government there. Just a little background, then I have details of this news story for you. We know that next year, on the 1st of January, new peacekeeping mission will take over in Somalia. Awesome is the name of this new peacekeeping mission. African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia. Awesome will take over on the 1st of January 2025. Ethiopian troops are part of the existing peacekeeping mission in Somalia called ATMIS, African Union Transition Mission in Somalia. The mandate of ATMIS will expire at the end of this year. ATMIS contributing countries are Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya, Burundi, Uganda. Awesome contributing countries. Names of the countries are not clear. No official announcement made so far, but Somalia has officially announced that at least Ethiopia won't be part of Awesome, which will take over on the 1st of January. Before that, all Ethiopian troops will have to leave Somalia, Somalia says. But Ethiopian troops are strengthening control of key installations on Somalia-Ethiopia border. Did several videos in the past few days. I told you about Ethiopian troops taking control of airports and airstrips in southwest state, in Jubaland, in Somalia. And the purpose behind the Ethiopian mobilization to control airports in Somalia was to prevent the landing of Somalia's forces or forces supporting Somalia in Ethiopia-controlled Somalia's territories. This is the background. Ethiopian troops have been told to leave, but they are strengthening their control. Now, another linked development is the ongoing dispute between the federal government of Somalia and Jubaland regional government. Jubaland regional government is due to hold local election next week, I think on the 25th of November. Indirect election. Federal government is opposing the indirect election. It wants direct election to be held in Jubaland. Jubaland is refusing to agree with the federal government's instructions. Jubaland prevented the arrival of Hamza Abdi Bare, Somalia's prime minister, in Kismayo. Jubaland fully prepared to hold election, while Hamza Abdi Bare, President Hassan Sheikh, said that the election being held in Jubaland is unconstitutional, illegal. Ethiopian troops are deployed in Jubaland. Part of peacekeeping operation, they are there. Gaidu is under Ethiopian military control. Gaidu zone, which is part of Jubaland. In Gaidu, airports are also under Ethiopian military control. Dolo airport is under Ethiopian military control. Now, reportedly, Ethiopian soldiers in control of Dolo airstrip have arrested some soldiers of the federal forces of Somalia. At least 6 soldiers of federal forces of Somalia have been arrested at Dolo airport. Why? What were they doing there? Why did Ethiopian military arrest them? The Ethiopian military have this power, legal power to arrest the soldiers of the country which is hosting Ethiopian troops. I mean, it's a big development. It's a big news. How can Ethiopian troops arrest Somalia soldiers. Well, the arrested soldiers from the Federal Forces of Somalia were clad in civilian clothes. They were not in military uniform. They were sent to Dolo airport. Why? Maybe they were sent to get information from the area. Because we know that Somalia wants to expel Ethiopian troops from these airports, airstrips. Somalia wants to deploy its forces in Ethiopia controlled territories for two reasons. Firstly, it wants to expel Ethiopian troops. It wants to kick out Ethiopian troops back into Ethiopia. Secondly, federal government of Somalia could try to intervene in Jubaland to disrupt the upcoming election, which I mentioned in Jubaland. For that, obviously, Somalia's government must be in control of some airport in Jubaland to send its military from Mogadishu, from other parts of Somalia to Jubaland. But airports are being controlled by Ethiopian troops. Ethiopian troops arrested 6 Somali soldiers who are being investigated by Ethiopian soldiers. Now, what does this development indicate? It indicates that Ethiopia is indirectly supporting Jubaland in holding local indirect elections in Jubaland, which is being opposed by the federal government of Somalia. Ahmed Madobe is being backed by Ethiopia. It's very clear. Mogadishu has very limited options. Mogadishu can mobilize its ground forces only, and that can only be done through some other regional states, or it can take the sea route to send forces to Jubaland. It's very unlikely that Mogadishu will be able to stop the election in Jubaland. Ethiopia supporting Jubaland by controlling main airports in Jubaland. Kismayo is not controlled by Ethiopian troops; they're controlled by Jubaland forces. But in Gaidu, airports are being controlled by Ethiopian troops. Now, if Somalia cannot send its federal forces to a regional state to stop election from being held there, can Somalia's federal government kick out Ethiopian troops from Jubaland, from southwest state? It cannot happen. Federal government on its own cannot expel Ethiopian troops from both Gaidu and southwest state. It can only push Ethiopian troops out of these two regional states if local regional governments support the federal government of Somalia. If Ahmed Madobe gets himself re-elected with the support of Ethiopia, obviously he will support the continued military presence of Ethiopian troops in Jubaland. So this election is crucial. Same is the case with Southwest State. Southwest State is more vulnerable to attacks from Al-Shabaab. Southwest State leader Laftagarin, though attended National Consultative Council meetings held twice in the last 2 months. But on the issue of the presence of Ethiopian troops in Southwest State, he is on board with Ethiopia. He is also opposed to the withdrawal of Ethiopian troops from Southwest State. Why? Because the state could be more vulnerable to attacks from Al-Shabaab. So Mogadishu definitely is facing a challenge to exercise its authority, its legal authority into regional states of Somalia. Third one, Puntland is already not under the control of Mogadishu. It cut off ties with Mogadishu a few months ago. No statement from Somalia's government so far. I mean, there are 6 soldiers. The government 6 soldiers were arrested by Ethiopian troops, and still the government of Somalia is silent. I should clarify what happened. Why were they arrested? Thanks for watching.